Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for November 22, 2023, truck driver dies after vehicle plunges into gully in Portland. A truck driver is dead after his unit went over a precipice during heavy rains in the Rio Grande Valley of Portland on Tuesday. Police sources said that the truck, which was loaded with hardware items, plunged more than 150 feet into a gully shortly after 4 p.m. The news understands that the driver and the two sidemen were carrying material in the truck to be delivered at the Dumfries when, upon reaching a section of the road at Cooper's Hill, there was a breakaway. The two sidemen came off and the driver proceeded, but the back wheel of the truck reportedly slipped at the breakaway, and the truck went down the ravine about 100 meters, pinning the driver below. The police said the driver, who was trapped underneath the truck, was pronounced dead by a doctor. His name has not been released by the police at this time. Firefighters who arrived on the scene were unable to provide any assistance due to the depth of the gully and the torrential rainfall. It is understood that an emergency team will return Wednesday morning to complete the process. Teen feared drowned in Westmoreland River. A teenager is feared to have drowned after he met into difficulties while swimming with his friends at the Cabarita River in Big Bridge, Westmoreland on Monday evening. He has been identified as 18-year-old June Jr. McCoy, a construction worker of a Manchester address. Police and the residents of the area searched the waters on Monday following the incident and all day Tuesday to no avail. One of McCoy's friends who had gone swimming with the now missing teen told the news that he heard when McCoy called out to him for help. I swim off before him and turn back at the boat, and when me come back, him chuck off and go out, and me see him a swimmer go out. Then him said, "Don't man, my foot can't touch the dirt," and me swim off back for go save him, the teen, who identified himself as Demarley, said. He noted that his attempt to save McCoy was unsuccessful. "When me reach out, me can't touch him either. Me not dey nowhere near him because the water pushed him go down the line, and me a sink at the same time," he recounted. He added that he then had to seek help for his friend. "And my brother that, I hope so them find him," he said. The news understands that residents blocked the road on Tuesday as they believe there is more that the police can do to retrieve the teen's body. The search party tried, but the police said they are not equipped to dive to do any search, McCoy's mom, Denise Morgan, told the news on Tuesday evening. The distraught mother believes the worst has happened. "All me can do, I hope them find him body, and me can get it," the mother said. Teen cousins die in ferry bike crash after warning ignored. Parents and the teachers of two teenage cousins who died in a ferry crash on their way to Petersfield High School Tuesday are baffled that they were traveling on a motorcycle. It is against the school rules, and one boy's mother had warned him not to ride a bike to school. He promised her he would not. The deaths are particularly difficult as the Westmoreland school is still mourning the loss of a 15-year-old girl who died in a 5-fatality crash on November 13. All three were in fourth form. "We are coming out of a week of prayer. We are a praying school. We had a brief devotion and we prayed with the general student body," said acting principal Vinton Vaz. He described the students and the teachers as traumatized, but said they had been receiving support provided by the education ministry. According to Vaz, the school has zero tolerance for students riding a bike to school. "It is banned from the school. We do not condone it, and they cannot park the bike on the school compound or anywhere we are aware," said the acting principal. He said one of the boys' parents had been called in prior to the incident when they learned that the student was riding a bike to school. Vaz also noted that just 2 weeks ago, the Transport Authority and the Island Traffic Authority had engaged with students and hosted a sensitization workshop. 16-year-old Johnny Robinson and 14-year-old Zakil McIntyre are just the latest in a long list of Westmoreland road fatalities that involve bikes. The parish has a bike taxi culture and 4 years has led the rest of the country in road fatalities despite frequent training sessions and free safety equipment. So Angela Hewitt was understandably reluctant for her son to use that method of transportation. after a friend told her Robinson, who is affectionately called JJ, was riding a bike to school. She said on Tuesday she confronted him. He denied it. "Mr. JJ, don't ride no bike go to school. And this morning me I hear say him dead off a bike," the distressed mother added, saying that she was unaware how he came by the bike. In reacting to the boy's death, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Leighton Johnson, said it underscores the urgent need for us to implement a rural school bus system that will assist in ensuring that our students will commute to school on a daily basis in a manner that is safe. But Robinson's mother said she had told him to take the school bus. He just didn't listen. His cousin, Fincy Reed, who confirmed that there is a school bus that transports Petersfield High School students to school from Darlaston, was also left reeling from the news of the fatal crash, and he struggled to accept that the teenager lied to him when they spoke on Sunday. They were at a funeral, he said, and he told Robinson to reduce his speed when traveling on the motorcycle and not to ride it to school. Him say him park the bike at Darlaston, so when me hear this morning, me frightened say him tell me lie, Reed added. The Withorn police reported that about 6:50 a.m., Robinson and McIntyre were traveling on a motorcycle heading northerly along the Petersfield main road when the driver lost the control while negotiating a corner. The teens then collided into a motorcar which caught fire. The police were summoned and the boys were transported to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Ineffective opposition declares a lack of confidence in wisdom of JUTC fare rollback. The parliamentary opposition has characterized the planned rollback in JUTC fares as ineffective in reducing inflation, as only a small segment of the population stand to benefit from the move. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, who announced the temporary measure in Parliament on Tuesday, said it was aimed at keeping the rate of inflation down. But opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips believes the government should find more creative ways to reduce inflation. Mr. Phillips, in his response, said many commuters, including those in rural parishes, will not feel the effects of the announced reduction. He also questioned the effects the fare rollback will have on the operations of the JUTC, noting that this will be a new subsidy of $1 billion added to the $10 billion annual subsidy it already receives from the state.
Let me remind you that only a quarter of the seats that are required in the Kingston metropolitan area is provided by the JUTC. So the majority of the public that is being transported will not benefit from this. The real question is, how is it that the minister decides to reduce the inflationary effect also on the commuters in rural Jamaica? And that has always been a matter that we have been concerned about, even in the increase that was given to the operators in the last month or so, that rural operators are not subsidized by the government as those who use the JUTC. Even though that the government will find the additional $1 billion in the subsidy that is needed, the JUTC now is being subsidized prior to this in the region of $10 billion. With an $11 billion loss. So someone has to pay for that. And the taxpayers, the commuters are the ones paying for it. I think the government needs to go back to the drawing board and look at the suggestion that was made by myself and the leader of the opposition, in that there needs to be other ways in cushioning the crisis to the commuters and not cushion the crisis for the government themselves.
Taxi operator accused of raping passenger. The Trelawney police have launched a search for a taxi operator following allegations that he raped one of his passengers in the parish last week, Tuesday. It is reported that about 11 p.m., the 29-year-old complainant took a taxi operated by the suspect from Discovery Bay St. Anne to Duncan's Trelawney. On reaching Rio Bueno, the woman was the only passenger left in the car. The driver reportedly turned off the main road to the Rio Bueno playfield where he had a sexual intercourse with the woman without her consent. The matter was later reported to the police.